What's up, Airsofters? Today we're shining a spotlight on Delta Armory, a young but rapidly rising brand in the AEG scene. Founded in 2019, Delta Armory was born with a development office in Hong Kong and logistics hubs in Central Europe and the UK, giving it a real international reach from day one. They've made a name for themselves by offering quality that punches above their price point. Whether you're just stepping into the hobby or you're a seasoned player looking for performance value, there's a series for you. Charlie for lightweight polymer, no-frills starter AEGs, and the Grand Power licensed Alpha series brings full CNC metal construction. Select models are also paired with Delta Eagle's ETU systems, which brings programmable firing modes, pre-cocking, and responsive tuning to the table. Stick with us. We know the naming convention is a little... We'll do our best to explain. They're carving out a reputation for reliable, upgrade-ready AEGs that deliver simply more for less. And they're doing it fast. Let's jump into the first two rifles and see why these are some of the best entry-level options on the market right now. Starting off, let's talk about Delta Armory's Charlie series, purpose-built polymer rifles designed for newcomers who demand quality, reliability, and upgrade potential. There are two versions, the base Charlie, which comes with a 9.6 volt battery and charger included, and the Charlie Eagle, identical in build, but upgraded with the Eagle ETU, electronic trigger unit, and no battery or charger. Let's break that down. Both rifles feature a billet-styled polymer receiver with detailed roll marks and laser etching, a slim M-LOK free floating handguard, and flip-up front and rear sights. The stock is rubberized with an adjustable length of pull and includes ambidextrous QD sling mount points just in front of the buffer tube. Inside is where Delta Armory really shines. SHS gears and a full metal tooth piston, rotary hop-up chamber, 6.03mm precision inner barrels, and a QRS Gen 2 spring system that allows you to change springs without tearing the rifle apart. Also of note is the toolless motor grip access door in the motor grip itself. Now, the height, of course, needs a tool, but removing the motor pretty quick, there's just kind of a tab that you pull back on, it's spring-loaded, allows you to swap the motor out quickly, which is nice. Now, the Charlie Eagle's standout feature is the integrated Eagle ETU, or electronic trigger unit. This programmable MOSFET gives you finely adjustable trigger sensitivity, fine-tuning for trigger travel via a screw in the trigger guard, battery protection with audible low and high alerts, and an active brake to cut overspin. It is worth noting, however, that the trigger isn't tuned out of the box. Now, initially, you'll have to leave the selector on safe, plug in your battery, listen for a double beep followed by a long beep, pull the trigger for 5 seconds until another double beep confirms calibration, and you're good to go. Just watch this. In practice, that means that the standard Charlie is a great out-of-the-box rifle, light, dependable, and ready for modifications. The Charlie Eagle takes it a step further with smarter firing control and internal protection. Whether you want the convenience of an included charger or the flexibility of a programmable trigger, you're getting a solid build quality and upgrade paths either way, all for a truly incredible entry-level price point, especially compared to its competitors on the market in that price range. Now let's shift into top-tier lane with Delta Armory's Freya Alpha series. Now this one is licensed by Grand Power. We're talking about two different versions here, the OD Green 7-inch M-LOK version and this tan 14-inch M-LOK skeletonized version. Both rifles carry that bold Grand Power branding straight from the factory and instantly elevate the platform's credibility. As far as credibility from a civilian Slovak AR-15 kind of side of things go. On the exterior, the build quality jumps noticeably from their more budget options. You get a billet-style aluminum receiver etched with deep roll marks and laser details that really pop, paired with a CNC aluminum free float M-LOK handguard that's been skeletonized on both models. You'll also notice an interesting yet sleek decision to do away with the top Picatinny rail entirely, save for a small section up at the front for mounting a flip-up front sight. Lines are clean and modern with iron sights and a working bolt stop to make sure that your hop-up unit it is still concealed when you're done adjusting it, as both models don't actually come with dust covers because they're so high speed, and that creates drag. That Delta Stock V2 also steps up the comfort game with a rubberized stock pad, QD sling points, and a standard Dean's connector concealed within the buffer tube. Inside is just as impressive. You've got a huge swath of pre-upgraded internal components from the get-go. A metal version 2 gearbox, QRS Gen 2 spring system, those SHS gears, and a full metal tooth piston, 7mm bearings, rotary hop-up, and a 6.03 precision inner barrel as well. Short story, it's built to outperform out of the box and is ready for upgrades whenever you're ready. Not that they're necessarily necessary considering the performance out of the box. And as we mentioned, all of this runs on Delta Eagle's ETU, the programmable optomagnet unit that we've already covered. But yes, it's included by default and does make trigger response, mode switching, active braking, trigger adjustment, battery protection, and customization feel absolutely seamless. When it comes to power, these Freya Alphas are tuned firmly in the 380 to 400 FPS range with 0.20 gram BBs and are delivering serious feel and consistency for that price point. Delta Armory isn't just throwing rifles at the market. They're throwing a lot of rifles at the market. Let's be honest. There are a lot of models and you have a lot of choices, but ultimately that kind of boils down to the styling you like, and they have a couple different tiers to match like a price point that you're going for, but all of them are great. I'm sorry to get sidetracked there. I just wanted to say they do have a lot of models. They're clearly trying to raise the bar for what you airsofters should expect at every price point. Whether you're looking at the Charlie series as your first serious AEG or stepping into the Alpha lineup with Grand Power's stamp of approval on the side, you're getting away with more than you'd normally see at these tiers. The base Charlie is the kind of rifle that lets new players get out there and actually play, not fight with their gear. And when you're ready to level up, the Charlie Eagle gives you a real electronic fire control system without jumping into high-end money. Meanwhile, the Freya Alpha rifles show off what Delta can really do when they're swinging for the fences. Full CNC externals, rock-solid internals, and a feature set that makes them a serious contender against brands costing $100 or more. They're not cutting corners. They're making rifles that feel sharp, smart, and thought out, like someone at Delta actually plays airsoft and understands what people want out of the box. Imagine that. So whether you are building your first loadout or just trying to try something new with a fresh platform, Delta Armory deserves a hard look. And you can check out the full lineup right here at Evike.com. Well, the full lineup as of this video, because these guys are always coming out with new stuff. So, you know, who knows, 6 months from now, there'll be even more. Check them out. We'll see you later.